So life is full of small coincidences, and in no small part, some luck sometimes. And I was in my office in 2002. I had a phone call from a friend of mine who was running a London investment business. And he said, look, I've just been to see a business. It's in your neck of the woods. You should go and see it. And he said, it's a Welsh whiskey. So I laughed. I fell off my seat laughing. I said, that's ridiculous. He said, trust me, go and see it. So I went to see it up in Penderyn, an old 40-down shed, which had been converted to a distillery, 3 or 4 people, and Edwina is here today, took me round, and there was an old still, like Ivo the engine, chugging away in the corner, chug, 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 and there was some barrels around. And it was fascinating. I was bowled over by the passion and the craziness of these people who were started redistilling in Wales after 100 years. But I drove away thinking, absolutely no, crazy, crazy. But it sticks in your mind, you know? And I kept asking myself, well, why would I invest in this? Why would I get involved? And the only reason I could think of was we must be truly world-class. We must have a world-class product. We can't be a Scotch or an Irish me too. So I thought, okay, I know my drinks, but I'm not the expert. How do I find out how good this liquid is? So I had the crazy idea. I phoned Edinburgh University. The call was answered straight away. I said, can I speak to someone in your distilling department? The lovely lady put me straight through to a guy called Pip Hills. Now, Pip Hills was a lecturer in distilling at Edinburgh University and the founder of the Scotch Malt Whisky Society. So here was the expert instantly that I needed. I told him the story. He laughed and fell off his seat, but I eventually crossed his palm with some silver, and he agreed to come down. And cutting a long story short, we sat in, I think it was Edwina's office, and he hadn't got the glass that far to his nose, and he said, this is world class. He wouldn't believe at that time it was only 2 years old. And then he tried from a few other barrels and different things, and he tried the Madeira, I think, as well. And he said, this is as good as anything Scotland can produce, and this to me would be a 6, 7-year-old, and at that time we were 2 years old. So driving away in the car, I said, what do you think? He said, don't get involved. He said, you're crazy. It'll never work, Welsh whiskey. But I can tell you the liquid works. So being a bit crazy, I got involved. And of course, the history of whiskey making in Wales goes back a long time. Everyone thinks it's fairly new, but it's not. Allegedly, whiskey was invented in the 4th century on Bardsey Island. The Scots will disagree with that fervently, but I'm sticking to that story. And Wales did, of course, a few hundred years ago, have a significant whiskey business, which was effectively closed down by the temperance movement. Because at one time, you could be excommunicated in Wales for just working in a distillery. So you had Evan Williams. A lot of these distillers went out to America, became founding fathers of the bourbon industry. Evan Williams from Pembrokeshire is still a very famous bourbon brand. And even Jack Daniels, allegedly, was from Llanelli. So just eat this one up. Jack Daniels is a Turk, all right? So the last distillery in Wales was up in Fangor, near Bala, and that closed down well over 100 years ago, when the owner was run over by his own horse and cart. So there are no horses and carts today. He used to do the marketing by dressing up his wife as a traditional Welsh lady and putting her on the posters. I have asked Louise, my wife, to do it, but that was a hard no. You're not doing that. So look, as you have a look around today, take your time, enjoy it. We think we produce a very elegant liquid, but I want you to enjoy. And I think what we've done would have made Glynvivian very proud. And those of you, most of you will know Glynvivian, but he was the founding father of the copper industry, which is so much part of our story here.